Parents, what is your greatest fear for your child? Of course, we worry about our teens' achievements at school. We worry about peer pressure. We worry about them eating too much fast food. And we worry if they're going to get a date to the prom. But these aren't parents' greatest fears. I work with so many parents, and they list off their frustrations with their kiddos at home, the most acute pain points. But what really gets the tears flowing and rolling down their cheeks is when they tell me this. I just want him to be able to take care of himself when I'm gone. I want her to be able to get a good job and live independently. These are the admissions I hear when a parent is bearing their soul and when they're being really vulnerable and honest. I'm Annie Agin. I think teenagers are wonderful, even though I know sometimes they're very confounding. And the ADHD brain is even more confounding and beautiful to me. In my coaching, I teach all brains, neurotypical brains and neurodiverse brains, what they need to know in order to live independently, to navigate life someday without you. It can be done. Everyone can and must learn these essential skills, the executive functioning skills. They are the very life skills we know our kids need to make it in their future. Parents, go ahead and take a look below. Click on the link in order to access a really helpful tool that you'll understand in just 2 minutes flat, and you'll be able to get your teen to implement it in 2 minutes flat. It will give you great control over all of your time and all of your tasks just that fast. It's a tool used by millions of successful students and professionals around the globe. Do not underestimate its power due to its simplicity. It's a great tool. Open it now and put it into practice immediately. Alrighty, so yes, of course, it matters where junior gets accepted to college. And yes, every high schooler has to pass algebra in order to graduate from high school. I know that it matters that a student has a cafeteria full of friends waiting for them at lunchtime. But at the heart of a parent's greatest existential and emotional angst is whether or not their kiddo is going to be able to make it on their own in the future. Now, you might be the parent who's thinking, not my kid. He's going to go so far. He's already headed to some Ivy League school. He's guaranteed a bright future. Well, I wish that were a guarantee. I would be willing to bet that even that parent has fleeting moments where they're wondering who is going to wake this kid up for his college classes since at 17 years of age he can't get himself out of bed. Self regulation, impulse control. Or will her boyfriend or future husband stick around when they come to her living space for the first time and discover that she's a borderline hoarder? Organization. How will he ever be able to function in a 9 to 5 job if he's up until 3 a.m. playing video games? Delayed gratification. She's so forgetful. If I don't send her text reminders during the day, then I end up running her homework and PE clothes to her at school at least once a week. Attention, focus, working memory. She's perpetually late for everything. How will she not get fired when she gets her first job? Planning and prioritization. There you have a few examples of the underlying concerns that parents sometimes whisper to me. I know they're real. They may be some of your concerns too. These 5 scenarios are examples of immature executive functioning skills, and these are simply the most foundational cognitive systematic skills that a young adult must have in order to survive as an independent person in this world. Folks, these are not skills taught in most schools. These are capacities that are rarely imparted in life because our kids have it so easy. After all, we break our backs to provide them with everything that they need. So, parents, I implore you to consider, how did you learn these skills? I want you to think about that for a minute. How did you learn control over your brain and over your decisions? I know you use your executive functioning skills every day in a multitude of ways. Now, no one has 100% efficacy in all these areas, but look at you. You keep it together, you hold down a job, you run a household, you were resourceful enough in finding this YouTube video, or you're listening to it on a podcast. You're here, you show up. How did you learn to regulate yourself and organize your life, plan out a week, check your calendar each morning, remember to take the chicken out of the freezer in order to thaw it for dinner tonight? How? How did you learn all these soft skills? Well, usually when parents do this reflective exercise with me in a coaching session and answer that question, they share a time in their formative years when they had some sort of adversity, like losing a parent or having to change schools every year because they were part of a military family. Or they might refer back to when they faced a lot of challenge, again, in their earlier years, like working a part time job since they were 13 years of age, or having to take care of all the younger siblings because mom and dad worked three, four jobs. So, how did you sharpen your executive functions, mom and dad? Think about it. How did you get where you're at now? However, it happened, parents, you acquired these essential skills from your environment and from your life experiences. But our kids, they go to school, maybe they go to a sport or band practice after, and then they go to their screens. And believe me, both of those modalities are going to teach them a lot, for better or for worse, but neither is going to teach them to sharpen their executive functioning skills, these essential life skills. And what research tells us is that their future will be an uphill battle without them. Does this sound like your greatest fear? Does it sound like what you're worried about when your son or daughter faces their future? My clients and my parents, they tell me something like this. Something like this is their greatest fear. And I listen and I feel their pain. I do. I give them lots of support. I drive their tears and I give them this beautiful little package in a box, in a blue box. It's a Tiffany's blue box. I wish. I have an even better gift than a Tiffany's box. It is the gift of executive skills coaching. These absolutely crucial skills can be taught and they can be learned by everyone through direct instruction. Teenagers can even learn them through their screens. What could be better than that? Parents, contact me so we can talk more during a free consultation. Your fears are safe with me. AnnieAdjen.com. And meanwhile, consider the following: go camping with your kids, play a board game and make sure they lose, allow your kiddo to get a summer job, take a family wide fast from technology. How about having your kids plan a week of meals and cooking them all by themselves? They could even create a budget for a weekend road trip, and you actually take the road trip and make sure they fit all of the expenses into the pre established budget. Parents, start engineering all kinds of creative opportunities to grow your child's executive skills. Remember how you learned yours? I bet you will never forget. And aren't you glad you did? So help your teen grow theirs too. And in just another blink of an eye, they're going to be living on their own. And that means that now is the time to worry about your kids. Now is the moment to get them executive skills coaching so that you don't have to worry as much, at least, when they are all grown up and living far away. Start with giving them just one really useful strategy found at the link below. I promise it's super easy, it's fun, and it gives immediate results. Open up the Pomodoro technique and use it with your teen today. Keep in touch. You can find me at AnnieAdjen.com.